Juvenil title. That is what's at stake, and it is a lineup of 11 that we have become very familiar with. Nono is in goal, Mickey Wanola in defense with Arnau Casas and Chadi. Casado is the captain. Estanis, Aleix, Garrido, Victor, Barbera, Fermin, and Ilias will be in this one to try and seal it up. What a tale of the tape today. What an exciting moment. Ilias Akhomach, who has been with the Barca B side, of course, most of the year. You got to give him a taste of winning this trophy, right? That's why he's here. And this seems like the day for Barca. Ilias had only played in 8 games, scoring 5 goals. And how about this atmosphere? Understanding what's at stake, Barca will take to the pitch at the Cornella Municipal Stadium. And let's tell you exactly what the standings look like at this point. There are 5 games to play, including today's contest. Barca have a 12-point lead on Espanyol. 73 points for Barca, 61 points for Espanyol. A win for Barca and a win for Espanyol would keep Barca 12 points in front with 4 games to play, and the goal differential is insurmountable. So this is indeed win and crown. For Cornella, they are still fighting to be a part of the middle of the table and work their way up too. A win could see them jump from 9th, which is where they stand now, to as high as a tie for 6th. It will be a matchup for them in which they're trying to build off of what has been, despite a disappointing last couple of games, have to say, a good start to the season. They had a stretch, though, of games where they just weren't able to get goals. And in this division, if you can't score goals, especially against some of the bottom half teams in this league, it's really difficult to climb the ranks. Barca do that. Barca score goals. They have 90 goals in 23 games this season, averaging just more than 3 per game. They've only conceded 17 in that stretch. 29 games for Barca, 23 wins, 4 draws and 2 losses. And of the 6 results this year that have not been wins, 3 of them have come in the last 5 games. A loss to Europa and draws with San Andreu and Espanyol, but that's okay because today is all about trying to lock down a championship. Looking for the trophy. Here is Nono in goal. Sent out wide for Mickey Wanola. High-octane atmosphere, most of which is very much pro-Barca. Of course, the biggest difference that Barca face in a game like this, as they're normally used to when playing on the road, is taking the bounce of the turf in a slightly different fashion than what they're used to seeing at home. The Juvenil Bayside just played. Instead of playing on that natural grass. And on a day that has gotten a little bit hotter, approaching on 23 degrees, that turf can dry out a little bit, allowing the ball to hang around a little bit more. This ball sent over the top, looking for the run of Ilias Akhomach. And he tried to win his side corner, but couldn't do so. The man who's been somewhat instrumental for Barca B this season. Down goes Alex Valle, and he's won a free kick. Thanks to a rather cynical foul coming from Tim Carutas. Pair of high boots. Fermin is brought down. Oscar Lopez in control, pulling the strings today, as he normally is, as Cornella have gotten in behind, and they're going to grab the first goal. Chadi, out of nearly nothing, Cornella, less than 3 minutes in, have put the celebration on halt for the time being. Carutas with a beautiful ball across. Chadi was just waiting for it to arrive on the other end. And any trophy talk will have to wait for the moment. By the looks of the Barca players, Mickey Wanola was the one who needed to be there at the back post. It's not the start that Barca were hoping for, but it does create a much heavier element of focus now. Down a goal. Hopped up by Pereira. Garrido comes away with it, and he wants to release Estanis. Again, Pereira. It's a Barca team that, despite the 1-1 draw with Espanyol, it really kept them within an arm's length of Espanyol, kept them at a distance. That game that was played just a couple of days ago. Garrido, Barca have a chance to answer right away. Fermin tries to draw it back. He sets up Garrido, who was looking for Estanis. And I think Victor was saying, where was my turn? He was asking for it. Not quite late enough to start thinking about wasting any time, and Cornella doing exactly what they need to do in the first 5 minutes to take this early lead. Over the top. This time the flag, though, comes up. Season as a whole, though, has been a rousing success for Juvenil, as it generally is. This year, a little bit different because they started the season with 6 straight wins. That never really put their status as one of the top teams in this league in doubt. Not that it ever was. But they did bring about a couple of undesirable results, including the matchup at the Ciudad Deportiva against Cornella. That was a 1-1 draw back in November. Manola finds Garrido. They also lost out in the Juvenil Copa del Rey to Dam, which was one of Dam's greatest victories, and the way they celebrated it at the Ciudad Deportiva told you so. The 18-time winners of the event, Barca, who haven't won the Juvenil Copa del Rey since 2011, and this year it was Real Madrid who beat Espanyol in the final. Certainly one of the other results that Barca would have preferred to get back. But after that 1-1 draw to Cornella, then they started to turn on the Jets. Won 11 straight games between the beginning of December and the middle of March. The only loss being the Copa. They've been handed quite a different look here. A team that has not conceded more than 1 goal, Barca, since the beginning of February. They've given up 1 early now. Juanola. Reset to Casas. Here's Valle. Ilias on the run. Got to get him involved. Tries to chop it back into the path of Fermin, and Cornella can break again. Valle does well to get back. This is one of the typical Catalan rivalries on a local level that we see quite a bit. Not just these Juvenil players. Here's Estanis. Cross is overhit. Not just at the Juvenil level, but when Cornella get involved at the senior level too. Playing this year in the Primera RFEF, or the 3rd tier in Spain, the newly redesigned tier system. Here's Chadi again. Low shot in. Handled comfortably by Nono. Cornella, the senior squad, actually got a late victory in the Catalan derby on this pitch against Barça B at the tail end of 2021. There was a time when Barça and the Barça B team were looking like Cornella would be one of their direct rivals to stay out of the relegation race. credit goes to Sergi Barjuan and his side, because they've won 5 of their last 6, including a 5-0 victory yesterday at the Johan over San Luqueño. And that has put them in position, potentially, to sneak into the promotion playoff, believe it or not. That's how wildly close the third tier of Spanish football is. Spots 2 through 5 go into the playoff. The 5th spot right now, Alcoyano, is on 50 points. Barca sit in 10th, but they have 48 points. They're just 2 points back. Here comes Pereira. The back post, overhit again. Xavi is going to chase it down. Cornella have looked comfortable on the ball in this area of the pitch, but Barca win it back, and now they want to run, and the game is looking quite stretched. Ilias. Carutas committed a foul, and although Barca wanted to go quickly for a moment, Oscar Lopez does the wise thing and says, let's set this up from here. Ilias will deliver. Low ball in. It was the first man, Estanis, who had actually reached. Have themselves a corner now. This one sent right into the grateful arms of the keeper's son. First 15 minutes, and it's a goal less than 3 minutes in that gave Cornella the lead. A goal from Xavi. Xavi that Barca would be proud to call their own. They're starting to grow into this game. Kept in by Cornella and slipped through, and a second is on the books, if not for the flag. A break for Barca this time. I believe it was Sergi who was in behind. Fortunate and ultimately persistent effort from the Barca defense that time. It was Sergi, and it was nearly 2-0. Giving up one for Barca is something that they can work through, but if you get a second, your Cornella really put the pressure on, and playing out of the back has all of a sudden become a challenge for Barca as Sergi comes away with it again. Got Pereira to his right, he opts towards the byline, and Nono is able to keep it in play. Barcelona's higher pressure is causing slight problems, because Barca haven't been able really to break through the lines at this point. Here's Valle. Ushering it forward. Ilias connects with Fermin, who does well to work around a pair of defenders, but he doesn't have any help in the midfield. He opts for Estanis out wide. And the difference right now for Barca in attack is that although they are moving the ball well, there are very few options within a close range. See where Casado sets up, and that's usually a telltale sign. When you watch Barca's number 6, as we just saw Biel Vicens for Juvenil B, his ability to create and become an option for Barca is so vitally important to how this system works, and it's given away. Casado couldn't catch up to it this time. His 6 goals this season, that's second only to Sergi on Cornella, who's netted 12 this year. It's a much different league this than the Liga Nacional Juvenil, which we just saw moments ago. Fermin cuts it back onto his right, filters it through to Estanis, who pops it up, and oh, the flag seems to go up on Estanis. Looked like he was well behind the play. The assistant referee is adamant, and so Barca's attack is halted. Back into the Cornella third. Sergi tries to chop it away. Deflected out for a Cornella corner. The early goal didn't change Cornella's approach to this game or this half, but now everything is magnified. Every decision to waste a little bit more time until Juvenil can come up with some kind of a response. They'll have no reason to think otherwise. Chadi will send it in. Back post bound, several bodies colliding, and ultimately passes through the lot. Victor hasn't been involved much. He drops in a little bit deeper. Casado the very same. Need to get those two involved. They need to involve the players in the center of the pitch a little bit more. And right now, nobody is where they're supposed to be. Garrido was looking for either Mickey or Estanis, and they weren't there. Sergi holding up play beautifully. Ball did trickle over the line, though. And possession, I believe, has been given to Cornella. How that's possible would require a second look. Dangerous ball into the Cornella box. Filtered through to the middle. It perhaps might have fallen for Neil, but instead, Barca handles the initial surge. Now they come again. A shoulder shrug of a defense as Barca try to restart quickly, and boy, it is just not looking like the Barca team we're used to seeing right now. Foul and allow Barca just to get out of Cornella's half. Right now, Cornella are the more adventurous side. Only takes one, though. Fermin for Ilias. Valle overhits this one, too. To force Barca all the way back. They will have a corner for it. Service becomes important here. This was the opportunity that Barca were looking for, just trying to set something up from scratch. Sent in, punched away by the keeper, Santh. Fanfare and electricity and atmosphere in the visitors' stadium that started this game has been drastically altered by the goal scored by Cornella. Because they were shouting Campeones from the rafters. It was not subtle. The early goal changes things. Ilias has gotten around his defender, gets his left-footed cross in, and it's taken a deflection away, out for a Barca corner. He'll be the one to take it. Sent in low again, bouncing around. Victor is there to keep it. Back out to Ilias. Wanted to readjust to the byline, and he's tumbled over. Another corner for Barca. A little bit of contact along the way, but not enough for the referee to do anything about it. This one taken short. Estanis trying to stick with it. Barca win the corner again. Just searching for something that works at the moment. Speared in, a flying headed attempt. Victor follows it up with a tame shot, and Sant covers up. It was Chadi, who came in late. Like a missile out of nowhere. Still no answer yet, though, and they haven't tested the Cornella keeper. Here's Casado. Good to see him get involved. Fermin for Ilias. Keeps it on his feet. Which way is he going to go? Squeaking through the defense. Takes the shot, and it's deflected by Sant. Out for another corner. That's the electricity that he can bring. Turning a 1-on-3 situation into a shot on target. Taken short, popped up in the air by Casado, and well out of play. Now remember, as this game progresses, ultimately, of course, Barca would be looking for the win. But if they match Espanyol's result against Cerdanyola, whatever that is, they will qualify as the champions, whether it's a win, a draw, or a loss. The win just secures it, regardless of the other game's result. First half hour of this game, too, has seen excellent game management from Cornella. They're able to keep the ball and slow up play in chunks when pushing Barca back. Victor dropping deep again. This time he wins the foul. Not shy about holding up the ball either after the foul. That's something the referee will have to just be wary of. Doesn't need to take any action on it right now, but as the game progresses too. It's one thing to kick the ball away from the spot of the foul. It's another thing to then continue to pass it around after the whistle has blown. Ilias had Valle in support, but the backtracking of Carutas cuts out that break, and Chadi will come the other way. Still Xavier on the low skimming shot. Nono is there to scream it up. Ilias again, Valle on the overlap. They'll chip it in to a dangerous area. Headed clear, but only as far as one spectacular goal. Fermin just made the play of the season on perhaps the day of the season. That is absolutely stunning. The initial clearance was there, and Fermin, with his back to goal, wound up, whipped out his bicycle, and went for a ride. All square at one after a stunner. Well, if Barca are to clinch the title today, that will undoubtedly be one of the main highlights, the main highlight that comes with it. I mean, we've still got an hour to go in this thing. There is all kind of possibilities, and one of the Cornella players has gone down in some excruciating pain. That's Adam Chadi. And that's something that half of the population can attest to. Give him a minute. No, we don't need to show it any more times. Off. He'll be waved back on shortly, and hopefully all will be okay for Chadi after that. It'll be a dropped ball, and kudos to the referee for stopping play in a moment when one young man very much needed it. Barca have cleared any danger, and despite the early concession, I could argue that they are right where they need to be at this stage of the contest. Won't be without adjustments, though, at halftime for Oscar Lopez. See what the scoreline reads. Ball just clicked up off of the turf. Didn't look like there was anything in the way, but Cornella have been rewarded with this turnover, and the ball has been sent into the middle. The shot is on, and a helpless Nono watches it sail past his far post. Fortunately for him, wide of the goal. Barca's ability to play out of the back starting to get stronger here. Fermin is unmarked in the middle, and he's asking for it, and instead the cross goes in towards goal, and Fermin at the top of the box is rightly upset. There is no one within 15 meters of him. Had that been cut back, could have been a 4-minute turnaround for Barca. Casado. Garrido for Mickey Wanola. Casas to Chadi to Valle. A turn from Fermin, who's already got one. Thought about shooting. He was poked down. It looked like he was held. And the referee points to the spot of the foul. It looked like he was trying to play advantage. And you can see very clearly that Fermin was held in trying to make the next decision. So once there was no advantage, Garrido couldn't get to it. And this is just as dangerous. We've seen Fermin from these distances scare the keeper. Right now, that's enough. Ilias is on the other side. It looks set up for Fermin to head towards that near post, which is exactly what he does, and he wasn't all that far off. He's having a heck of a first half, isn't he? Ilias was brought down, hustles back into the play. He's manhandled to the ground. And unfortunately for Cornella, the foul from Chadi, he was saying, that's my first one. But yeah, sometimes your first one is enough. And in that case, we open the book for the first time today. Estanis went in with a heavy challenge against Marc, or rather, Paul Gilmeno. Excellent through ball to find Ilias. One-on-one now. Tries to work past the defender, still trying to get to his feet, and he has. Now the referee has brought this back to the spot of the foul. He was trying to play advantage. Here's the thing about advantage. Could he have gotten up and made a play here, Ilias? Absolutely he could have. And the referee might have called this back too soon. Advantage is strictly at the discretion of the referee, and every referee is different. The rule book says you can let it go for as long as you want before bringing it back. Now that obviously won't make some people happy if you let it go for 5 or 10 seconds, but it's a moot point at this point. Free kick. Somewhat of a repositioned corner. There's a player down at the top of the 6-yard box. I don't know if that was the player who took a shot to the shoulder earlier, tussling with Estanis. Looks like he's all right. It's going to give everybody a chance to catch their breath as we wind down towards the end of this first half. A goal 3 minutes in from Xavier. That started the scoring. And then Fermin's brilliant bicycle effort has knotted the game at 1. It is sent in by Fermin dangerously and headed out of harm's way. It's a solid clearance because Victor was lurking. Would expect to see an added minute or two to end the first half. Given the injury troubles we've seen through the first 45 minutes. This is where Barca have really grown into the game. Starting to beat that middling high pressure of Cornella, opting for the long ball this time. Fermin taken out from behind. Another foul, another free kick. And that's dangerous on Chadi's part, who was just booked not too long ago. It's the last thing that Cornella could afford to see, getting down to 10 men after taking the early lead. But again, Fermin will be the catalyst here to send this in. That he will. Back post bound. It took a flick off of Victor, but he couldn't redirect it appropriately. Seconds beyond the first 45. Cornella haven't had much of a sight of goals since the early opening, and that will do it for the first half here, with Barça falling behind on an early goal from Cornella's Javier. But Fermin answers, and it's a goal that you're going to want to see, unless you see a 30-0 in your sights. But this is it. If Barca win, they will clinch. With that, we're underway. No changes to mark for you at the beginning here of the second half. Barca heading left to right on your screen, and we get a look at Estanis, who is dispossessed by Aleix. Let's get you the starting 11s. Let's first go to Barca with the keeper Nono, along with his back line of 4 between Mickey, Casas, Chadi, and Valle. In the midfield, Casado, Aleix, Garrido, and Fermin. Top 3 up front featuring Estanis, Victor Barbera, and Ilias Akhomach. On the other side for Cornella, Marc is in goal. Paul Jimeno, Alin Serban, Ivan Blanco, and Marc Villaplana along the back line with Neil Hervias, Adam Cherradi, and Walter Pereira. This is Xavi. Pereira, good cross in, and it was cleared away by Casas, but then the follow-up from Neil is out for a goal kick. It's Sergi, Xavi, and Carutas up front for Cornella. Talked about how Barca had left the door open only momentarily with the 1-1 draw to Espanyol earlier this week. It was a game that had to be made up, and was. Barca could have clinched with a victory, but the two teams splitting the points instead of Barca getting all 3 means they had to play on to today at least to try and seek out a title. Xavi keeps it on his feet, and he's released Sergi, who was held up for a moment, then takes a shot from distance that Nono comfortably grabs. They wouldn't be the first team in La Masia Juvenil A to clinch a title. We also already had the Alevi A squad clinch, and there are several other teams in the mix, as Victor is slowed up by a pair of defenders. Villaplana is the one to send it clear. If you were with us just about an hour ago, you saw the conclusion of Barça Juvenil B taking on Manresa. That's a team that's looking liable to clinch soon as well. They'll have 5 games remaining, and at the moment they've got a 4-point lead on Badalona, which is the team that they'll be facing in just 2 weeks' time at the Ciudad Esportiva. That is essentially a championship level matchup. Here's Fermin, the goal scorer. Garrido sends it forward. There's Victor. His shot is saved by Sanz, but the flag came up on him late, and so it wouldn't have counted. Save in the end, though, by Sanz. Estanis has not had much time to get on the ball today. You can tell he's slightly frustrated. He just hasn't had the same sort of avenues that he's normally used to getting. Cut him off almost completely. Fermin keeps it moving. Again, wiggling through a pair of defenders. Advantage played for Barca. Over the top it goes. Ilias is in an onside position. His cutback is a half shot, half cutback, and the ball is over the byline, trickling out for a Barca corner. And now you feel they're starting to get closer. Games played for Barca, 23 wins, 90 goals scored, 17 conceded, and there is another headed effort from Barca that sails just over the bar, this one coming from Chadi. Cornella on the other side, in their 29 games, 10 wins, 12 draws, 7 losses. They've scored 44 and conceded 27. The numbers say they should be a little bit higher up in the table. I mentioned their hot start. They were one of the best teams that this group had to offer in the first few months of the season. They won 8 of their first 9 games. They've really slowed down. Have won 3 of their last 5, coming off of a 3-0 win over Monte Carlo, another win against Mallorca. Xavi is dispossessed legally, and this through ball will find Estanis. He finally has a little bit of space to work, but not much time. And that is the difference. There was a stretch for Cornella earlier this year where draws were the name of the game. They drew 8 out of 10 games, 4 of which were 0-0, 4 of which were 1-1. Dangerous tackle. And again, this is advantage being played for Barca, out of the reach of Victor. And have to stop play for a moment to bring it back to the point of the injury. That looked like a nasty challenge. It's Casado. First, there's a collision, and then again, that is a really late challenge from Chadi, and he was the only player to pick up a card in the first half, and I'd have to imagine that at this stage the referee has gone over to Chadi and said, remember when you asked for your 1 and I gave you that yellow card? Okay, you've gotten 2 and 3 at this point after the card, so no more of that. There are some fairly reckless challenges, to say the least. Now looking long, there is Chadi, and his shot is deflected out. He knew how close he was. No, came off of his line. It's a corner kick for Cornella. Corner sent in past Chadi that time, but cleared out of harm's way. Hopped over the top. Chadi concedes the throw, avoids the goal kick. Just trying to pin Barca back. Valle again, been very active. We talked about Cornella and them trying to avoid the drop at the senior level. This is a team that historically has had success in the past, maybe not as high as some of the other teams within the region. But again, historically, they've done exactly what they've needed to do to try and see the course little by little, climb the ranks. This was a team that was, for the most part, hanging out in the 5th and 6th tiers of Spanish football. They were in the 6th tier as recently as 1996. And then, with a couple of hiccups in the mix, they moved their way up to the 5th tier, then to the 4th. And from 2000 to 2014, they spent all but 3 years in the 4th tier, having been relegated twice, moving back up, and then in 2014 were promoted after winning the Tercera, moving on to the Segunda B, which has since been rebranded as the Primera RFEF, or the first amateur division. Chadi's clearance sent back into the mix by Serban, and the flag did come up late. But now, since being promoted in 2014, they've spent now 9 straight years in the Tercera. They're fighting, or I should say in the 3rd tier. They're fighting to stay there. They reached the round of 32 in the Copa del Rey last year. They've competed in the Copa del Rey 5 of the last 7 seasons. They hadn't previously competed in the competition at all. So it shows the minimalist growth, but Barca have other ideas now. And here's Estanis, and there's the cross, and it runs all the way through the back post and out harmlessly for a goal kick. It could have been dangerous, and Barca are going to be seeking out the winner in this half. The objective has become quite clear after understanding that Espanyol beat Cerdanyola 3-0. Barca need a win, which means right now a goal wins the title. How simple is that? Need to play some defense too, and Serban is clipped from behind. Quick restart on a through ball sends Sergi in behind, but the flag came to Barca's rescue. They're late. I don't know about that. Maybe not that time. Didn't look like it ended up mattering at all either because Valle was there. Estanis is done for the day. So he has been replaced, the first substitution, and it looks like Ilias has come over to the right side, and now, no has gone down, the keeper, and he's clutching his right leg. Well, it's not at all what Barca were hoping for. Might have been a late clip. And it looks like he's all right to continue, which is a good sign. You see Ilias has come over to this side now. And the substitution that was made brought in Juanda. Juan David. So he's in. Estanis again didn't really get going today. Xavi's taking it away. Garrido is on his back. Advantage played. And then after Xavi had done enough to bring it forward, advantage taken away. Play over the back, but too much for Sergi to handle. The chances have been few and far between in this game, so you might need another moment of magic, similar to what we saw Fermin showcase for us in the first half. Cornella would surely like to avoid the clinch scenario on their home pitch, so a draw for them is just as much of a desired result, but they've shown that they can go for the goals and go for the win, and Xavi has won either a throw or a corner from that corner. Body's starting to get loose for Barca as well. Diego is in the mix. We might see some defensive-oriented changes as well, given the amount of defending that Barca have had to do. It is a corner. Xavi walks away from it. Pereira stays. Sent in, popped up towards the back post. Nono will claim it. He wants to go quick, and he will. A long throw ahead for Ilias, whose first touch was brilliant, and he's been brought down. Neil should receive a card for that, and he will. Second Cornella player into the book. Open play has not been Barca's friend tonight, so the set piece is where Barca will have to look to strike. Juanda can be that player, certainly too far for a shot. He'll chip it in a little bit too close this time to Sanz. Casas defending, working against Pereira, who gets around him, but now needs an option. All the way to the byline, Casas defending the whole way. Beautiful turn. That coming from Garrido. Fermin will come the other way now. No numbers for Barca. Cornella have brought them back. Of time for the Blaugrana to find the one. It just takes one right now. Fermin, an extra touch, poked away by Nil. Love to see Casado continue to get involved in the build-up play. So they'll recycle all the way back to no-no. Let's see if they can build something from the back here. This is Valle. Now Fermin. Poked forward. A run for Juanda, and wisely, Sanz comes all the way out. I don't think Juanda was expecting it. A pass that came from a longer ways away, and Sanz was wise. Now it comes back the other way, and Chadi has a 2-on-2. He's going to try to take the shot, and no is there to knock it down. It was placed appropriately, but he needed more behind it to really scare the keeper. Time advantage is given for Barca. If they can't get it done today, then you would look ahead to next week's action. Again, 4 games left after this one for Barca, and all they need is one favorable result. Whether that's a win or an Espanyol loss. Next week features Espanyol taking on San Andreu. So we'll see 2 substitutions for Cornella, and it'll be 2 players who we might have expected to come off. Xavi is off along with Chadi, who was yellow for quite some time. Xavi scoring the goal. And Pau Escobar and Marcos Corriti are both on. Just one change for Barca so far. Espanyol will get San Andreu next week. They're at bottom of the table side, or close to it. Barca will have Zaragoza. Zaragoza sit 4th in the table at the moment. Through ball comes in. This is a good chance, and Nono is there once again. The feed from Pereira had the perfect amount of weight on it. And the run in behind. I believe it was Escobar who got in. The most difficult part was to turn with the angle that he was given to try and get anything behind the shot. Victor snuck through, but the ball trickled away. And there are about 20 minutes left for Barca to find something, a goal, a championship-winning goal. Defended well again by Casado, who's been there in defense today. He stood back a little bit further. Casas as well. Now sending it forward. A long run for Juanda, who's there. Juanda tried to send it across, blocked down by Blanco. You can say this, the end-to-end version of this game has been an excellent watch. It's creaked our necks from one side of the pitch to the other, and although Barca typically like to take their time and set up and do what they're doing now, we haven't seen much of it. It's been a lot more through balls, a lot more long balls over the top. Chadi will try it again. And this telltale sign right here shows us that Cornella are happy to let time trickle off the clock. Riti. Filtered forward, Pereira against Casado. Wide it goes. Long run for Carutas. He won't get there. Now we might start to see Barca try to turn their screws a little bit. 2 substitutions in the offing, Diego and Jorge. Aleix done for the day. It's a hot one out there today, so hydration and a splash of water around the neck is good enough. Here's Juanda getting it from the new substitute Jorge, who had plenty of energy behind his run. Now Ilias wants to get on the ball a little bit more in the second half like he did in the first. Fouled from behind, so a quick restart. Mickey finds the middle of the pitch, and it's given away. Sergi He's not had a chance to stretch his legs, and Almeida just checked into the game. Diego with some frantic defending. Fermin trying to dribble in a dangerous area, and Mickey Juanola is fouled in his own penalty area, so they can head the other way. "15 minutes plus stoppage time." Cornella jumped on Barca first, and in the first 3 minutes held a 1-0 lead. Fermin answered though, and by halftime this was our scoreline, so this is where we've stood. The way Cornella have defended today, the way they've come out to play, it doesn't feel like a mistake is in the offing, although you never know. That was the difference in the game for Juvenil B against Manresa. They waited, got a couple of mistakes, took advantage of them, took their lead and didn't look back. Also on the other side today with Cornella for Juvenil, they might need to create this themselves. And that's what champions would do, right? Sent in long by Gorriti. Nono is there to claim it from the throw. Mickey flicked it through. Fermin somehow stuck to it. And he's got it back. Ilias to his right. Here is Ilias Akhomach, the man who's played for Barca B. He's gone down right on the edge of the box. There's a whistle, but where? Oh, how close was that? That foul is outside the penalty area. It is trickling into the penalty area, so on another day, in another league, with another team, we might have a second or third look at this, but this is the call, and this is what we'll stick with. It'll be Juanda with that left boot who stands over this in what is very much a shooting position. And we'll have a perfect look at the setup of the wall, which might be exactly where Juanda wants to go with this. Big moment. Juanda's shot right into the wall. Fermin wants to track it down. He will. He gets his cross in. Headed clear by two Cornella players. Ilias couldn't bring it under control, but he's got it back. Perhaps Barca's starting to feel it. They're starting to get closer. And at this point, no need to take the ball away from its intended location. And you feel like Barca wouldn't want to slow the game down right now. But let Cornella pick it back up, just hustle back, get in to your defensive shape. And look at that, in a matter of 5 seconds, win the ball back and get at it again. Game is certainly stretched, that's for sure. Casado is fouled. Valle looking for Juanda. Victor. That won't do. Oh, but that will. He's got it back. It's been so crucial, Victor. 17 goals in 19 starts, 27 total games this season. Juanda has 13. He's out there. Those are your two leading goal scorers in this squad. Their contributions have been greatly appreciated this year as Francisco Cornella checks in. Cornella right away getting involved in Cornella's build-up. Under 10 minutes now remain of the 90. Nono comes out. Up for Juanda. Can he get to it? No. And the clock is starting to tick, which will make things a little bit more tense and anxious, but for a flair and a sense of the dramatic, would make a last-second goal much more entertaining. Nono is way out there. Dangerously. He's asking for a foul, and in doing so, he hasn't gotten back to his post, which now finally he has, and Barca are fortunate to have won the ball. If not, that could have been ugly. Juanda's got it back. Space in the middle. Victor wants it. Juanda waits. Now Jorge. Now Mickey. Ilias. What can he do? Left-footed low curler is bobbled. Picked up by Victor. He's scored. Victor Barbera gives Barca the lead. And with just a few minutes left, Barca have one hand on the trophy. The man who's scored more than anybody else this season, Victor Barbera Romero, gets his 18th. And we said that Cornella had gone so long without making a mistake. That was a massive one. And that may be the goal that fortifies and puts a stamp on Barca's fantastic campaign. Here come the substitutions. Ilias out, Luzzi in. 8 goals for Fabian Roberto Luzzi Rangel. And now it's a matter of locking up the defense and seeing this game out. What a fantastic comeback. Test of grit. After going down so early in this one. I also see Jaidu out on the pitch as well for Barca, so that's all 5 substitutions for them. They went down so early in this one. They've crawled all the way back. Header is on. No. We'll let it sail over the bar. The first goal brought them back into it mentally. They were searching for answers, and you felt like had Barca gone into halftime down 1-0, the frustration would have piled up. But one moment of brilliance from Fermin, and all of a sudden everybody thinks, okay, now we're just one away. We got the one we needed. Let's stay the course as opposed to press. Juanda tries a quick one. Sanz is there this time. The first goal from Fermin, which is the highlight of the day. The second goal is the winner, of course, but the first one is why we play the game. Already seen one card for time wasting, and it'll be Juanda who gets it. All 11 players out on the pitch right now for Barca are not in the book, so supposedly you could have as many of them grab a card as they want, or you could just grab a third goal, which Juanda would have to do next time. Casado getting involved, helped out by Diego Almeida, who's been one of the mainstays of this team this season. 20 starts for him. He's only got one goal. One of the most solid defenders, though, Diego, and being asked to come on as a substitute, which he hasn't normally been asked to do this season, only one other time, which means normally he wears number 3. That's what we're used to seeing, so seeing 14 on him changes his look a bit. Winding down on the minutes now. Barca can see this out. They will be crowned champions. Mickey Wanola sends it over to Garrido, who cuts inside. The extra pass for Fermin, misfired on his cross. Manages to chase it down, and he got to it only for a moment. Excellent defense. Perhaps a counter attempt from Fermin. Left it behind him. He's been the star of the show today. Taken back, though, and Barca need to make sure they defend appropriately. Casado will go into the book for the foul against Pereira. Cornella have not gotten close to their goal in quite some time, so this is where the defense is necessary. There's a look at the foul. That halted play. Sent into the mix, flicked on. It's alive in the box, and it's gone in. Marcos Gorretti. with a similar goal to what we saw in the first half from Fermin. Not quite the same, but that's a sweet goal, and Nono was beaten, and it's 2-2. And the championship hopes for Barca might have just been snatched on this Sunday evening at the last moments. There is still some time left. No word on the exact amount of extra time, but Barca will have a few minutes here. And now a goal would surely win it. You felt like the goal from Victor was the crowning achievement. It just doesn't appear like it's in the cards tonight. Not after that. The only attempt of the last half of an hour. Chadi will take on defenders. Won't be enough. Well, that means their next chance to do it, Barca, would be next week against Real Zaragoza. It's Zaragoza, Baleares, San Francisco and Sabadell to close out their season, while Espanyol will have San Andreu, Cornella here on this pitch, Zaragoza themselves and Baleares. With 4 games left to play, it will be a 10-point lead in the table. Unless there's one final twist to this tale. Sent in long. Cornella would still look to win it here. No, sees it popped over. Barca need to go quick now. No calling everybody forward. Sent long, plays allowed to continue. Flicked through. Lutzi went down in the box. Barca have a throw. The final moments in Cornella. There's a foul. And that's an opportunity to send a dangerous cross in. Fling the bodies forward, why not? A loss or a draw, it's all the same, but a win, you know what that means. It's going to be taken by Juanda. Sent in, it's shuffled around, it bounces through, Almeida's shot, it goes in! Barca are champions! Barca are champions! The final kick of the game, Diego Almeida does it off the bench. Well, Almeida and Valle were both there. They both claimed it. I think you got to give it to Almeida. What a finish in Cornella. Everybody's celebrating this one. They're going to give it to Jorge for the time being. We can go back and look at that later. The bottom line is the ball is in the back of the net. And from 1-0 down to 2-1 up to a 2-2 draw, Barca at the death have taken a win. And of course, Jorge will be booked for taking off his jersey, but that's a moot point. And perhaps he's been sent off. It looks like he has, so the goal scorer is not on the pitch. Barca are down to 10 men, and play is allowed to continue for just a moment. They have to be careful here. The shot comes in, it's blocked away. There's a follow-up. Get it clear, and the whistle's got to go, right? Get the ball out of harm's way and wait for the referee to blow his whistle. A long throw coming from the goal scorer, Gorriti. Sent in dangerously. It comes back out. The shot from Pereira blocked down. And that's the final whistle. Barça Juvenil A, champions of the Division Honor Juvenil in 2022. The ringing hymn of Campeones, and they've done it in the most dramatic style. What a fantastic finish at the Municipal Stadium of Cornella. It took all 16 on the pitch today, 1 through 11, all 5 substitutes, but Oscar Lopez's side have done it. And they are champions today. Cornella put up a valiant effort. They fought from first kick to final whistle. They scored 3 minutes into the game. They fell behind 2-1. They grabbed a goal right at the end of the 90 minutes. But this night is not about them. It's about Barça Juvenil A doing what looked like needed to wait another week. And it looks like, I don't know if that's Chadi, who's down on the pitch right now, just getting his cramps worked out. Hey, somebody lift Oscar Lopez up, but be careful with that man. Javier scored 3 minutes in. Fermin got the goal before halftime. The bicycle kick that made it 1-1.